Hey there and welcome Warhammer Fantasy fans. This is Warhammer with Sheeb, delivering you another battle report, this time 2,000 points, Dark Elves versus the Wood Elves. And this is going to be the last hurrah for the Wood Elves because the new book will be released today and we will get to see all the changes that are coming to the Wood Elf army. And from what I've seen already, I don't think there's going to be any Wood Elf general who's going to complain and say, oh, yeah, but the lore of Athel Loren was way better than the high magic and dark magic and the other 8 lores that they get to use now in the rulebook. So we're going old school, one last hurrah for the Wood Elves. Let's take a look at the armies and deployment and the magic. So over here on my left, I have 5 shades, great weapons, no armor, a block of 25 Corsairs, and I have 23 Executioners. Inside, I am bringing the special character that gives them all Frenzy. That's that, like, Tullus, Deathbringer, Dreadbringer, something like that. And then I have my General on a Dark Steed and a unit of 5 Dark Riders. They have shields, spears, and repeater crossbows. We have a Reaper Bolt Thrower, level 4 Sorceress on a Pegasus, 4 more Dark Riders, same kit. And then we have a unit of 10 Doomfire Warlocks. Over to his side, let's start with his right flank. We have some Way Watchers, which have scouted. We have a unit of 9 Dryads, 10 Wild Riders, 6 Glade Riders, and then we have a Tree Man hiding in the trees here, another unit of 6 Glade Riders, 12 Glade Guard, 24 Glade Guard with a level 1 and a BSB, and 6 more Glade Riders. So a lot of fast cav. I also have a lot of fast cav. There's going to be a lot of fast cav shenanigans. When we were setting up to play, my opponent, Lawrence, fantastic guy, said, do you want to play a scenario or you just want to line up and kill each other? So I said, let's roll a dice, let's add some spice to the game and we'll see what we get. Sure enough, Battleline. We're lining up and we're killing each other. So here we go. This is pre-Vanguard. Let's go take a look at some of his Vanguard moves. I decided not to because I am playing pretty cautious because I'm not sure what he's going to do. And he ends up splitting up his forces. His Wild Riders move over here to his right, and his Glade Riders shimmy over to kind of hang out with the Archers and the Tree Man, just like that. He rolls for first turn, and he manages to steal it, the bugger. And he marches his Wild Riders up here, right in my grill. To probably come down my flanks if he can kind of get out of the charge arc of these Corsairs. However, he doesn't march far enough, and yeah, he is actually in my charge arc, and I can charge him. So we have some Dryads moving up into the forest, and the Way Watchers move into this forest over here on the left. And we have his Glade Riders shimmy over here and get into better positions to try and flank me on this right side. And the other Glade Riders enter the forest. In his magic phase, I guess it's important that I do talk about magic. Since he only has a level 1, he manages to get the spell that makes pretty much them a unit of his ethereal. What was that? The Twilight Host. And he also has Tree Singing on the Tree Man. For my spells, I am doing dark magic again. I wanted to give it another shot. We have Doom Bolts again on the level 4, Blade Wind, Chill Wind, and Shroud of Despair. I'm not really liking any of these spells. I don't really see how I'm going to use them other than my Warlocks and Soul Blight and Doom Bolt. So, we'll see how it goes. So that was after his magic phase. Coming on to his shooting phase, manages to pop a couple of wounds on the Warlocks, fail my ward save, and they start fleeing. Same thing happens to these Shades here on my left flank. They get depleted down to just 2 men. They take a panic test. They hold, but my Warlocks flee from the unit that caused them to break at 25, and so they're fleeing off here. These guys are in the dead pool. Alright, my turn. Well, I declare a charge. As you can see, my block of Corsairs makes a flank charge on the Wild Riders, and anytime you have cav, you don't want them to be flanked. You want to be the one doing the charge, so I was pretty fortunate to get that charge off. Even though it was quite lengthy, I definitely could make it. And then everything else kind of shimmies up like that because there isn't anything else that I could really charge. In the magic phase, I don't roll up a whole lot of anything. Let's see, I try to cast the Doom Bolt, that gets Dispel Scroll. And yeah, there's a whole lot of nothing else going on. So I figured, well, I don't have many damaging spells. Let's do a direct damage of Blade Wind on those Glade Riders. And nothing really happened, and maybe I killed one. So in combat, my Corsairs managed to outrun and defeat the Wild Riders, which was to be expected with a charge and a flank and a banner. But I wasn't able to run them down. But now the Corsairs are standing right in front of his Weight Watchers, and my Shades are right there, kind of getting away from those Dryads. Okay, in the shooting phase, and my Reaper Bolt Thrower didn't hit anything, and my Dark Riders and Shades kill, I think, one Weight Watcher. So, Wood Elves turn 2. I rally my Warlocks, and he kind of shimmies forward and kind of shifts a little bit, facing his Glade Guard to a little bit more position, seeing that I'm kind of being more centralized on my left flank and kind of giving up on the right flank, as it were. Glade Riders move over, and the Glade Riders move back a little bit, and the Tree Man comes out to taunt and scare my level 4 Sorceress. I put her there if he was going to make a charge from his Glade Riders onto the flank or rear of my Dark Riders, that she would be sufficient enough of a deterrent, and looks that way. He put down the front arc templates just so he can maneuver his Glade Riders and then get them out of charge arc, but still in firing range. So very clever and very good use of fast cav. He taught me a lot of good tips for maintaining fast cav and positioning them where you want them to be and denying your enemy positions about where they can go. So in combat, we have the Treekin. He actually has a wound. I'm not quite sure how he had a wound put on him, and my Sorceress also gets a wound put on him from all the Glade Riders shooting and Glade Guards shooting at her, because she is just out there on her own. So after all this shooting, she actually gets down to 1 wound, and with her amazing ward save with the Cloak of Twilight, she is just doing fantastic. So I'm a lucky guy. Dryads make a flank charge onto the Corsairs. The Wild Riders rally right before they go off the board, and now my poor Shades are stuck in the middle of what is inevitably going to be a pretty ferocious charge, and Weight Watchers could also snipe them, or they could charge in. I'm not really sure how this one's going to go at the moment. But in combat, since these Corsairs are amazing in combat, they managed to completely whiff their attacks, but so did the Dryads. I think no one killed anybody, but I beat him on combat res. Reformed, tried to run down, couldn't. Bad news is, I'm now exposing my flank to these Wild Riders and Weight Watchers. So, in my turn, rather than be charged, I charge. With both units of my Shades, only one makes it in. This unit rolls double 1s. Shame. I attempt to charge the Dryads to hope to catch them. They have to flee, and they flee like that, not quite off the board, and not quite away from the arc of the Weight Watchers. Everything else moves up in normal movement phase. I move up my remaining Warlocks over here on the side, outside of their arc, so they're not going to be shot at, maybe by these guys. Well, it might be close. But I hope to do some magic damage over here. Another really important charge that I forgot to mention is I actually took my level 4 Sorceress into the Tree Man. Yes, I charged my Sorceress into a Tree Man. And just kind of hoping for hope, hoping against hope, I guess. I have the Cloak of Twilight, which means I get D3 wounds and Killing Blow, but it's not Heroic Killing Blow, so I don't really know what I was thinking. I guess I thought she had Heroic Killing Blow, but oh well. I charge him in there like that. Reaper Bolt Thrower continues to suck and hasn't shot and hit a single thing all game. Executioners, they're frenzied with that special character, and they're kind of trying to charge everything, but everything that they attempt to charge just flees and runs away, as they should, because he does not want to let these Executioners get into combat, because it will not go his way. So there we have a little bit of the status of the board. Just a little look at the left flank, right flank. I think Lawrence went to the washroom at this point. And I was just snapping some cool scenery pictures of the battlefield. Alright, moving on to my magic phase. Soul Blight. This unit of 24 Glade Guard, and then Doom Bolt them. Managed to get a few killed. So that went well for me. What went really well for me and caused everybody in the store to kind of pause and laugh, because this was just pure hilarity. We have my level 4 Sorceress who charged into that Tree Man And as you can see, there's no more tree man, and my level 4 sorceress is still there. In combat, I came in, did no wounds, failed my one attack, and the tree man failed his attacks, all of them, and my Pegasus failed his attacks too. Complete whiff. Since I charged, I win combat by 1. He's stubborn, rolls like a 10. New tree man has 10, but old tree man still has leadership 9. Runs away outside of the BSB and gets run down by my Swift Stride Pegasus. That was awesome. That was just the highlight of the game. It was just hilarious, and since this was a friendly game, it was really quite comical. My Dark Riders move up here to shoot at some of these Glade Riders, and they have my General up in there too. So in combat on his turn, I have both Way Watchers and Wild Riders charging into the flank of my Corsairs. My hope is that I can hold off this combat, which I should, because these Corsairs have kind of been doing really well for me. That amazing armor save they have is really helping, and the fact that they have 2 attacks isn't nothing to sneeze at either. But I'm hoping that these Dark Riders can come in next turn to really put me over the edge, and maybe those Shades that were just down here south of this picture to come in and really add some combat res. So Glade Guard, their depleted numbers reform to shoot at my Warlocks, and they also turn to face the Warlocks, and these Dark Riders face the Warlocks, and I'm pretty much going to write them off as saying sayonara. Glade Riders move up here, that if I do a charge in, they could charge into the rear. Executioners are kind of annoyed because they need something to charge, and everything just keeps moving out of the way. And that's what happens. In his turn, they shoot at them. 2 Doomfire Warlocks are left. They flee, and they're running. So, my Sorceress gets charged by some Glade Riders who enter the woods, and are going to kill her, which they easily do, because she only had 1 wound left. Alright, and now time for the big combat up here, the one that's going to be pretty decisive. His Dryads again rally, and do not fail to run off the board, so they're up there. Combat went really well for Lawrence, but kind of really well for me too. And we ended up doing barely any wounds to each other. I reformed to go wide. However, this was a really dumb mistake, because my Dark Riders, whom I wanted to come in and also add combat res and to charge in as well, are not able to do that charge now. They're out of everyone's charge arc, and now they just have to sit there and shoot things in the shooting phase. Also, my Shades from just south here failed their charge in again. They must be cowards, because that's the second or third time that they failed any effort to get into combat. So there they are, failing. My General decides to charge out at these Glade Riders, and he flees, so I can't complete the charge. The rest of the unit moves over here to shoot at these Glade Guard from behind, and my frenzied Executioners say, I gotta get some points. I'm not getting anything over here. Pretty much got the left side in the bag, but I'm going to start coming over here to the right side. Bolt Thor, again, hasn't hit a single thing all game. Warlocks, this is a picture showing the dead pile. This is a picture of the 2 Warlocks left. They are still on the table, barely. I managed to kill off all of the Way Watchers, the Corsairs, but they don't do a whole lot of wounds to the Wild Riders. They only managed to kill 1, but that's enough for me to win combat. But he sticks around. He passes his leadership test. Now it's Wood Elf turn. Dryads charge in. Glade Riders charge in the rear. These guys are getting surrounded, and this is not the scenario that I wanted for this Corsair block. The Glade Guard open up and manage to kill my Dark Riders. The Glade Guard move over here, Glade Riders both move over here to shoot at the Reaper Bolt Thor. In combat, as you can see, these Corsairs, if the Sorceress is the highlight of the night, this unit's the MVP. Wild Riders flee this way, Dryads flee this way. I decide to, well, pursuing might be a good idea. I gotta get some of those points. This is showing the Doomfire Warlocks failing to rally. Glade Guard having reformed and moved out of the way. And the other unit of Glade Riders fled from my frenzied Executioners, and unfortunately this is just too far of a distance for them to even attempt to charge, so they go forward I think it's 6 inches. There we go. So I attempt to reform against them. To charge them off the table in my turn, I do, and the Dryads do run off the table, and the Wild Riders do also run off the table from last turn. So this is good. I finally have things going my way. Except my Reaper Bolt Thrower gets charged after it did a salvo of shots against these Glade Riders. Only managed to kill one, though. I am not impressed with my Bolt Throwers ever. I know I need to take more, but I just can't justify the $35 they are on GW's website. So my Executioners are up here. My Dark Riders come to join the fight to help out. Glade Riders overrun from the Bolt Thrower, like so. The other Glade Riders move up just to annoy and tease my Executioners because they're just going to run away. Oh, look, they do. My General charge into these unit of Glade Guard up top against 12. He's only a master. He's not a lord, so he only has 2 wounds. So they stand and shoot, put a wound on him, and in combat, they're going to kill him. My Dark Riders run up right behind them so they can shoot him in the bum. This is just a picture. I know it's blurry, but it's showing that the Glade Guard did kill my General, and I managed to kill 3 of them, which is pretty good. And looking at the charge arc, it looks like it might have just barely been an arc, but we kind of ruled it that they couldn't see them, and it was a really super long charge anyway, and I couldn't complete it. But we did manage to kill another unit of Dark Riders, and that's the game. This is kind of how the board looks on the right side. He still has this big unit of Glade Guard, a smaller unit of Glade Guard, a unit of Glade Riders, and 1 unit of Glade Riders, and I managed to take out 1 unit of Glade Riders, Wild Riders, Dryads, and his Way Watchers. So it was pretty close. The Wood Elves managed to score all of the 1 Shades. They all died. And the Bolt Thrower, the Warlocks, which are pretty big points, my General, and my level 4. So it was pretty close. We decided to call it a draw. My iPhone died, and it had all the points on my iPhone, so I couldn't really tell exactly what the total numbers were. But Lawrence was such a cool guy, we were just like, you know what, it's a draw. You know, we both have roughly the same amount of models on the table. It was fun either way. We had some fast cap shenanigans, and it was just a great friendly game. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll have another battle report shortly with the new Wood Elf book, and I'm super excited to just go through it all day. These last few days I've been reading the rumor sites and just finally got my hands on the Wood Elf book, and I'm just tearing through it all day today. So thanks for watching.